friends, welcome back to the Possum Stamps YouTube channel. This is Caitlin from Caitlin Annalee Cards, and today I'm excited to share with you how I made this super sweet flat shaker card featuring stamps, dies, and sequin mixes from the newest release, which came out earlier this week. The images I'm using today are from the Sweet Cupcake Stamp set, which is large and gorgeous. I store mine in a thicker stamp pouch, and today we'll be repurposing the plastic sleeve that it comes in. I pulled the plastic apart at the seams and will only be using one layer today, but I'll definitely be saving the other side for another card down the road. I have a serious addiction to the sequin mixes from Possum Stamps, and these two, Orchid and Cotton Candy, are absolutely no exception. They were definitely my inspiration behind making this shaker card today. So I decided that I really wanted to make my own pattern paper with this stamp set, and so I took an acrylic block and I placed one of the sentiments that says "Enjoy the Sweet Life," and I am stamping that with a watermark, like very light tan ink, and I am just starting in the center, so that way I know that there are some of them will at least be able to be read easily. And so I'm starting out in the very center by stamping one full complete sentiment in the middle, and then kind of like a brick, I'm putting the ends to meet up in the middle underneath and above it, and just continuing the pattern all the way up the card. I think that this is so cute. It's a very subtle once the sequins are in the pouch, but I just think that it's a really fun touch and a really nice way to kind of step it up and create something very unique that's also very specific to the stamp set you're using. I flipped over my card panel and you can see there on the back I did have some practice stamping, but that's okay. When everything's adhered, you'll never know it's there. And I laid down some double-sided tape, and one side at a time I'm just folding that packaging over. So I did trim down my edges just to make sure there wasn't a ton of extra package flapping around. And I am doing one at a time just because I found that was easiest. And when you're folding these over, you want to make sure that you're not pulling the plastic super tight. Otherwise, you won't have enough room in your pouch for your sequins to really shake around and give you that nice, gratifying sound. So now I'm going in with my scissors and just trimming off the extra little bit of flap in the corner that gets created when you're folding those edges over. And now the fun part really begins, which is when you get to fill in your pouch with the different sequin mixes. You could definitely just use one mix and they would be beautiful, but I love mixing in different colors as well. So here I have the Orchid, Cotton Candy, and Dreamy Days, which is an older sequin mix from Possum Stamps that I obviously love, and you can see I'm almost out, so I'm definitely gonna have to put that on my wish list. And then it's time to take off that backer paper for the last side and fold that top edge over and then trim those back pieces as well. You could definitely make your shaker panel the size of your full finished card, but the one I'm working with today, I decided to cut down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So that way I'll have a really cute border around the card. And so I'm adhering my backer panel, which is this really sweet baby pink, to my A2 sized side folding card base. And then I'm going in with that same double-sided tape as before. I think I actually got this one from the dollar store. But I'm running that across the back, and then I'm going to adhere my panel right down to that pink background, and I think that this just looks so sweet. It's so satisfying to shake that up. But now it's time to get to work on the images that are going to go on the front of our card over top of that shaker panel. I decided to grab these really cute hanging dangly hearts that are almost like in a banner, as well as 2 of the cupcakes and 2 of the little chocolates. And I'm going to be stamping those in some black alcohol marker safe ink because we're going to be Copic coloring those in. I just love how easy these images were to stamp and how nice and clean and easy the images are in general. They're not super detailed so that they don't feel overwhelming. They're just so much fun to color. I also went ahead and stamped my sentiment that I'm going to be adding to the front, which is a little treat for someone sweet. And I thought that really paired nicely with the sentiment that we used for that background pattern paper effect. So I just love how everything ties in so well. And with the color scheme I picked today, this definitely lends itself a little more towards Valentine's Day. But it could also just be a really sweet love card for any time of year. But also if you changed up the colors, this 100% could quickly turn into a birthday card or really an anytime card that you need to send someone when you want to celebrate or just tell them you're thinking about them. I use the Rosy R80 toned markers for the same pink shades throughout my card. I really love repetition when I'm doing a card like this, so I love having the pink color show up in the same tone in multiple different areas. Then I went in with my E40s and some lighter creamy markers to kind of create a vanilla frosting on my cupcake. And then I'm going back in again with those same pinks, like I said, to work on the wrappers. I'm just kind of giving a general shading to these. I'm not worried about a very specific light source. I'm just kind of going in where the artist drawn lines are to deepen up the shadows where those cupcake liners would kind of be crinkled in. And then I colored the hearts that are on the cupcakes and the chocolate the exact same way as the banner, kind of putting all of my shadow over towards the left side and a little bit extra on the top, and then just working my way through to my lighter shades. For the cherry, I also added in one deeper R marker. And then went back in with the same lighter shades. I wanted this to be a little more of a realistic red color, but I didn't want to deviate too far away from my kind of monochromatic feel that I was going for. All the marker colors that I use today will be listed down in that description box below for you, so don't worry about trying to pause or keep up with those. I'll have them all below, as well as all of the items that I used with the links, and that way you can go and check them out in the shop and see if there's anything there that you absolutely need to add to your collection. P.S. fair warning, it's probably everything. So I went in to color my first cupcake to be a chocolate cupcake, and then I colored in my little chocolates with the same shades, and now for my second cupcake I'm making some chocolate icing. And to do this, I go in with my darkest marker first, just to add some darkness to the edges and anywhere that a layer of icing would be creating a shadow on the layer below it. And then I go in with my medium shade just to kind of start breaking that up and blending everything out. And then went in with my lightest shade to create that highlight, mostly right through the center where the frosting would be thickest and kind of protruding out. Where it would catch the light the most. You can see here I'm actually using my lighter marker to pick up some of the darker the medium marker shade. That just helps to make an easier transition between your colors. And then I went in with my white gel pen. I added some detail back into that one chocolate that has the drizzle on top, so it looks kind of like a white chocolate drizzle. And then went in to add some highlights to my frosting, my cherry, and of course these little hearts. I love a good white gel pen detail. I think the idea of the extra shine just really helps to make everything pop. Then I went in with my coordinating dies and a little bit of washi tape and just lined all of these up just to make sure that everything was centered really nicely. Now I have my cute little white border. And then after I ran those through my die cutting machine, it was time to start adhering everything down. So I decided to go in with a tape runner just because sometimes those plastic packaging doesn't love to stick to liquid glue very well. And I just find that this is a little bit easier. So I centered up my banner first, and now I'm going in to add my little cupcakes and my chocolates. I put one of each on each side, and then ran that little heart banner right over the top. I absolutely love how this card came together. I think that it is so much fun, and I really hope that this helps to inspire you to try out a flat shaker if you haven't already. The options with this are truly endless, and I promise you, once you try it, you will definitely become addicted. I say that from experience because I definitely made a second shaker card with this release using the macaron stamp set, and I absolutely love both of these cards. Like I said, I hope you're feeling super inspired. If you haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and show Possum Stamps some love. Also, make sure that you're following them on Instagram so you never miss out on anything fun like a hop or additional inspiration. I hope that you have an amazing week and happy crafting.